Let me tell you about something I noticed. Every professional I've ever worked with, the CPAs, the HR directors, the finance managers, when they finally package their skills into an offer, they don't struggle with the offer. They struggle with the sell. And the reason they struggle with the sell is because they think selling means convincing someone, persuading someone, pushing someone, pitching something. So they wait, they hesitate. They say things like, oh, I don't want to come across as desperate. Oh, my personal favorite, I will post about it when I feel that one so common. And they never feel ready. But here's what the most successful professionals I know have figured out. They never really sell. Instead, they pre-sell. And there is a world of difference between those two things. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you the 3-step pre-sale method that my clients use to get people asking to buy before the price is ever mentioned. But first, you need to understand why your current approach isn't working. All I ask is stay with me. Now, back in 2013, that's where everything started for me. I paid $100, which was a lot of money for a university student here in Uganda, to attend a business breakfast featuring the late Dr. Miles Monroe. I was the only student in that room. Everyone else was the CEO, a director, a business owner, the pastor, and all this. And I remember sitting there thinking, I don't belong here. I don't belong to this room. But then Dr. Miles Monroe said something that day I'll never forgot. He said, the richest place on earth is not the oil fields of Saudi Arabia. It's not the gold mines of South Africa. The richest place on earth is the graveyard. Because in the graveyard are buried inventions that were never invented, books that were never written, offers that were never built, skills that went to the grave instead of into the marketplace. I'll never forget that. Years later, I built Beyond Office because I meet too many brilliant professionals, people with 15, 20 years of corporate experience who have a gold mine inside them, but they bury it because they don't know how to sell it without feeling like a door-to-door salesman. So today, let me show you a better way. You know what Tony Stark never did? He never walked into a press conference and said, hey, I'm building a suit. Would you like to buy it? It has 14 features. Here's the price. Do I have a deal? No, he didn't do that. Tony Stark let the world see the process. He let them watch him iterate. He let them see the vision. By the time the suit was ready, people were already believers. That is pre-selling. Pre-selling is not a technique. It's not a script. It's not a funnel. Pre-selling is the act of creating buyers before you ever create an offer. That is pre-selling. I'll never forget Steve Jobs was a master at this. Now, here's what most people do instead. They spend 3 months building the offer in a closet or in secret. They craft the name, the modules, the price, alone in a room. And then they launch it to a crowd that has never heard of them, never trusted them, never been warmed up. And they wonder why nobody buys. It's not the offer, it's the order. Trust comes before the transaction. Never forget that. So let me show you the framework I call the 3-step pre-sale method. This is what my clients use inside my King's Code Premium Coaching, and I'm giving it to you today for free. So let's jump into it. The 3-step pre-sale method. Step number 1, teach the problem before you sell the solution. This is where most professionals skip straight to the offer. They say, I have a program called X. Here's what's inside. And guess what? You get nothing. Because the person on the other end doesn't even know they have the problem you are solving yet. Myron Golden calls this pre-indoctrination. I call them this problem frenzy. Before someone can want your solution, they have to feel the weight of their problem. Yes, they have to feel the weight of their problem. So your job, whether in content, in conversations, in LinkedIn posts, is to describe the problem so clearly that the person reading it says, wait, that's me. How did you know? When someone says, that's me, they are already 70% sold. 70% sold. Rose, a CPA, Director of Finance, over 18 years of experience managing complex donor-funded portfolios across international NGOs. When she came to me, she didn't know how to package what she knew. She kept saying, people just need to see my CV. My work speaks for itself. I'm good. But you see, CVs don't sell. Problems sell. So we worked together to define the exact problem she was solving. Not I help with finance, specific, precise. So now she runs the Financial Reporting Clarity Insight program, helping nonprofit leaders understand what's blocking clean, accurate, board, and donor-ready reporting. She didn't launch with a pitch. She launched with problem fluency, indoctrination, and the right people raised their hands. That's step one. Step number two, sell the method before you sell the offer. This one is so critical. Before someone can buy what you are selling, they have to believe how you do it actually works. That belief in the method, that's what you have to build first. This is so huge. Remember P90X. Do you remember P90X? Nobody bought P90X because it's a fitness program. They bought it because of muscle confusion, which was P90X method. The idea that constantly changing your workout prevents plateaus. The method was sold and the method made the offer irresistible. My two-phase offer builder, that is my method. The extraction phase and the packaging phase. Before you invite anyone to a clarity call, make sure they understand your method. Make sure they believe it will work for them. Not just in theory, but for them, specifically for them. I have this client of mine, Catherine Mahume. She's a perfect example of this. CEO of Assurelink Insurance Brokers, co-founder of African Insurance Women Association, holds the FCII, the highest professional insurance qualification in the world. Before we worked together, Catherine was offering broad insurance training, generic, difficult to pre-sell because the method wasn't clear. We refined her method. She now runs the Insurance Leadership Accelerator, and she has the RISE method, a specific structured program with a very defined mechanism. And when people hear about that, they don't ask, is it legit? They ask, how do I get in? That is the power of selling the method fast. Step number 3, create the desire for the conversation, not the close. Earlier, I had promised you a method that makes clients ask to buy before you ever mention the price. This is it. Step 1 and step 2 creates the pull. Step 3 converts the pull into a conversation. Here is where most professionals, even the smartest ones, make the fatal error. They spend time pre-selling, they teach the problem, they explain the method, and then at the moment of conversion, they go for the close. They say, DM me to join. Spots are limited. Here's the price. The whole thing then collapses. Yes, collapses because the goal of pre-selling is not to close. The goal of pre-selling is to make the other person feel like they are the one closing you. The goal is for them to say, can we talk about this? Not, here is my payment yet. You create the desire for the conversation, not the transaction. The clarity call is not a sales call. It is a diagnostic session. It's a guided conversation. When someone walks into the call already believing in your method, already feeling the weight of their problem, already trusting your expertise, you don't sell them. You confirm what they have already decided. That's the power of pre-selling. Ruth taught me this in real life. Ruth is a CPA, CPHR, and HR manager in a public institution. Brilliant, thorough, deeply competent. When she came to me, she said, I feel burned out. I know I'm meant to do more, but I don't know how to tell people that without sounding like I'm complaining about my job. We weren't selling a program. We were creating a conversation. Ruth now helps burned out corporate professionals find work that aligns to their true self. And the people who come to her, they arrive already decided because she pre-sold through authenticity, through problem frenzy, through method clarity. She didn't chase. They came now. I know what you're thinking right now. Coach Richard, this sounds great, but I don't have a big audience. Nobody's watching my content. How do I pre-sell people who don't know me yet? I think it's a fair question. I want to agree with you. Here's what I want you to understand though. Pre-selling does not require an audience. Pre-selling requires a conversation. You don't need 10,000 followers. You need 10 right conversations. You remember Good Will Hunting? Will Janitor could outthink every MIT professor in the room, but his genius was invisible until Robin Williams sat across from him and asked the right questions. Your expertise is your genius. Your clarity call is that conversation. You pre-sell by making the conversation feel like the most natural next step. Not a pitch, not a transaction, just the obvious thing to do next. And here's the thing about the professionals who watch this channel of mine. They don't need motivation. They need structure. They need a path that feels low risk, dignified, and intelligent. This method is that path. I want to take you back to something Dr. Miles Monroe said at the Breakfast in Kampala in 2013. He said the richest place on earth is the graveyard. And I don't want that to be you. I don't want you to spend 25 years in corporate, accumulate a wealth of knowledge that could change someone's life, and never figure out how to share it, how to package it, how to price it, and how to pre-sell it. Pre-selling, remember again, is not manipulation. It's not pressure. It is not some tricks. Pre-selling is service. It is being so genuinely useful, so consistently valuable that when you eventually say, I have something that can help you at a deeper level, the only question they ask is, when do we start? You were never given your skills to hold them. In fact, Proverbs says, cursed be the man who holds grain. You were given them to deploy them. The world doesn't need another professional waiting to feel ready. It needs you to step into the marketplace with your expertise, your method, your offer, and serve people at the level they deserve. So here's where I want to leave you today. If you have a skill from your corporate career that you believe could help someone, and you're ready to stop sitting on it, the next step is a clarity call with me, not a sales call, a diagnostic conversation. We'll look at what you've already built in your career, your knowledge, your track record, your results, and we'll identify the offer that's already inside it. That's phase one of the 2 phases of a builder. We call it extraction. You can book the call today. There is going to be a link in the description. Now, I'm not going to convince you. If this isn't for you, it isn't for you. But if you've been watching this channel and something inside you keeps saying, this is what I need, trust that voice. It knows something your fear doesn't know yet. So go and book that call, and I will see you there. And in case, if you found this video valuable, I want you to first be able to subscribe so that you're able to get value every other day. And then if you know someone in your network who has skills they haven't packaged yet, they need to hear this. Guess what? I ask you to share it with them, and I will see you in the next one.